Welcome to the Blazity Experience. My name is Jakub and I'm the co-founder of Blazity. We're React and Next.js development experts. And today I'm joined by my good friend and longtime client, Tom. Tom, can you tell us a few words about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me here, Jakub. It's a pleasure to be here. So my name is Tom Young. I'm Digital Marketing Manager at Speechmatics. I lead our digital marketing strategies, ensuring that we effectively communicate our cutting-edge speech recognition capabilities across the world, across our digital channels. So that's web, that's email, social media, influencers, SEO, data analytics, so kind of whole spectrum. So that's sort of what I do within Speechmatics now. My history is in fintech, so working previously in financial services to help people get a better life. But as soon as I saw this opportunity at Speechmatics, I saw what they were doing at Voice AI. I wanted to be part of it, and yeah, here I am now.
Great. So obviously there's quite a boom on the market for AI right now. Can you tell me how has it affected Speechmatics and your job?
Yeah, you're right. AI is massive, right? You can't get away from it. Everything you see on the news pretty much right now is AI related. And we believe that voice is going to be a big part of AI specifically. We think voice is going to be a major part of the AGI stack. And it's going to continue evolving at a rapid pace. So we want to make sure that we are there at the forefront of it. And we believe that Speechmatics, we want to understand every voice. We don't want AI just to be things for only a specific group of people to be able to take advantage of and be part of. We want it to help everyone. So something that we do at Speechmatics is that we really try and incorporate it, understand everyone regardless of your accent, your dialect, your language. Polish people obviously are included in that.
And that's a tough language, like you said.
Yeah, it's not an easy one.
No.
And yeah, so we've seen a big boom, and we're looking forward to take advantage of the situation.
I've seen that recently you announced a waitlist for your new product called Flow. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. Our Flow is our amazing latest innovation into conversational AI. It combines ASR, which is automatic speech recognition, LLMs, and text-to-speech synthesis, and it's designed to create a really sort of seamless and natural way of talking to each other. So, I mean, I have a demo running now if we want to test it out. Should we?
Sure, yeah, we can test it out.
Okay, so I've actually had him running. So the persona I've used on Flow right now is called Humphrey. So Humphrey, I was wondering if you could tell us so far, if you could do a quick summary of what me and Jakub have been speaking about. You can talk, Humphrey, it's okay. I'll give you permission.
Thank you, Tom. So just to summarise, you and Jakub have been discussing the current boom in AI and how it's affected Speechmatics, where you work as a digital marketing manager. You've also mentioned your company's goal to understand every voice, regardless of accent or dialect, and how you're working towards that. Additionally, you've talked about your new product, Flow, which combines automatic speech recognition, language models, and text-to-speech synthesis to create a seamless conversational AI experience.
Great. That's enough, Humphrey. Thank you very much. So hopefully from there you get an idea of what it is we're trying to create at Speechmatics, and you feel that the response time, the latency, the accuracy it's all. We're very excited about it, and the appetite we've seen so far since opening the waitlist has been really, really impressive. So we're looking forward to rolling this out.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds exciting. It definitely summarized what we were talking about correctly, so that's quite good. Impressive.
It always helps, right?
Yeah. Nice. So is it in beta right now?
Yeah, so it's still in very early stages. As you said, we've recently opened our waitlist. We're hoping to roll this out later in the year, but we'll see how things sort of progress, what the appetite's like. So far, it's been very impressive, which is good. But yeah, we think this could be an absolute game changer in conversational AI. We think this is really going to help businesses. So Speechmatics is sell to businesses. We think this is really going to help change many industries. So we are a totally horizontal company, and we're an API company as well at heart. So we won't be selling Humphrey, we'll be selling the API into Flow. That's what we do. And we think it's going to be an absolute game changer. Really excited to show everyone it.
Yeah, exciting times ahead. I'm going to watch it closely, look forward to the full release, and good luck.
Thank you, yeah.
We spoke a little bit about what Speechmatics does and what's your role. I think I'd like to move on to discussing our relationship a little bit right now. could you please tell me what was the biggest challenge that you came to us with? Like, what was the biggest challenge in your team as a digital marketing manager?
Sure. I mean, there were quite a few. There were quite a few challenges. So where to start? So we never really had. When I joined Speechmatics, there wasn't really the dedication to the website that there should have been. We were with Contentful, and we had Vercel as hosting, so we had sort of the technology set up, but we didn't have any sort of agency to help us with it. We were using internal resource at the time, sort of help us get through. But they had their own priorities. Their focus wasn't the website, and they had other more pressing things that they wanted to work on, which I understand. So we did put out a bit of a tender. We had a look at various different companies. As you would expect, we spoke to anywhere between 5 to 10 different web dev agencies. We came across Blazity upon their list of Contentful partners. That's where we found you. And yeah, you stood out. And pretty much ever since we first spoke, it was pretty clear that you guys understood us straight away. You got what we were trying to do. You got the message. And it just felt like a good fit. So yeah, we spoke to you that first time. I think maybe we spoke to you another time, and it didn't really take too much more convincing.
We spoke like 2 or 3 times, I think, in a span of 1 week.
Yeah, so. It wasn't much, was it?
Yeah, it was quite big.
Quite a quick turnover.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of the start of it, and here we are, what, a year later or so?
Something like that, yeah. So you mentioned that you kind of inherited the existing setup in Speechmatics, which consists of Contentful and Vercel, which is actually, come to think of, and Next.js on the front end. And this is actually like the top tier stack you can have for web, so I think you were...
yeah.
So you were quite lucky in that regard to have this already, because a lot of the clients who work with, they're just migrating to headless, and it's a whole different scenario, but you were already there. But as far as I understand, you haven't used Contentful before working at Speechmatics. So can you tell me how hard was it to learn to use it, and like what was your experience starting to work with Contentful?
Yeah, so it became pretty clear to me quite early on that Contentful, there wasn't an issue with the Contentful like sort of CMS. That was fine. I actually found it quite easy to use. The issue that we had for a start was sort of how it had been laid out, how we had built on it. We'd built various bespoke blocks that weren't really being used correctly. It was very slow. It wasn't easy to use. You had to read almost a whole manual to understand how to actually edit the website. As an example, editors can even publish a page when we first came to you.
I remember that's...
We had to get you guys...
That's quite peculiar, I have to say.
Very odd. You can see why we needed someone like Blazity. But I think certainly now, since you guys have helped tidy up our environment, I really like Contentful. It has been quite easy to use. It's very quick. Like you said, it seems like a top-class piece of technology. We like being at the forefront of technology ourselves, being in the space. So, yeah, it's good. I only really have positive things to say about it right now. It's now I've used it, I wouldn't really want to look back and use anything else, I suppose. Yeah,
that's high praise, and yeah. Thank you. We're of course, as you mentioned at the beginning, Contentful partners. We've done quite a few implementations, so we're glad that we're able to help you with some of these issues that you ran into. You also mentioned that your hosting was on Vercel, which is really interesting because Vercel, of course, also our partner, are the creators of Next.js, and they're also a hosting company. But what we see in the market, especially in a little bit older companies and mid-market, so similar to Speechmatics, we usually see them going with more traditional cloud, like Azure, GCP, stuff like that, AWS. But I think one of the biggest values of Vercel, apart from the performance and the native environment for Next.js, is actually how hassle-free the hosting is. So, during that time that we've worked together, I don't think we've ever hit any Vercel issue.
I don't think there have been any outages since we've been there. And to be honest, so my thought on hosting is quite straightforward and a bit basic. That I just want it to work, essentially, right? I don't really. I mean, I love that you guys love it. That makes me very happy. But I don't really mind so long as it works. And if that's Vercel, awesome. Very happy with it. Like, you guys manage it. I totally trust Blazity to go ahead and do whatever you need to do to it. But so long as the website is up and running, that's good with me.
Great. So we spoke briefly around the issues you had with Contentful, for example, not being able to deploy. But I'm sure, I remember there were quite a few more issues, not only around Contentful, but like in your web stack in general. So can you tell me what some of these issues were and how they affected you as a business?
Yeah, there were quite a few issues. So it was that the way the website had been set up before just made it really hard to edit. Everything was very, very bespoke. And if you wanted to change even the simplest thing, it needed dev resource, it just slowed everything down. It's not how we as a company wanted to be. We want to be agile, we want to move quickly, we want to kind of showcase our amazing technology to the world. And we just couldn't do that for a start. So now with the help of yourself and your team, we've been able to roll out various different blocks and modules, which has really allowed us to deploy at speed and really move on to another level. We've seen some great improvements with page speed, with our content, with navigation, with structure, on the back end as well. We've done a lot in a short space of time, it feels like. And yeah, hopefully we can achieve even more in the next 12 months.
Yeah, of course. We're looking forward to continuing the partnership, definitely. Okay, Tom, so you mentioned that one of the things that you were really looking to improve on Speechmatics.com was the performance.
Yep.
Can you tell me what role does performance play for you as a company?
Well, so at Speechmatics, we have 3 sort of core pillars within the brand team that we really try and promote amongst ourselves, which is being innovative, being premium, and being inclusive. Now, we want our website to showcase those 3 things. So being innovative and being premium, it means we need to have a website which showcases what we do really well. And if the website doesn't do that, if it's slow, if it's outdated, if the navigation isn't working, if the UX doesn't flow properly, then it just doesn't give a good impression of who we are. So it's really crucial that we get those things right. None of those things were really working before we were working with Blazity, to be honest with you. So we've done a lot there to really help showcase those brand pillars, which is great. They're sort of some of the initial things that come to mind, but there's been lots of things on the back end, which I know your team have worked really hard on to help sort out things like queries.
Oh yeah, optimizing API calls.
Yeah.
I remember that you were running into the limit of your API calls, where you should definitely not have been near half of that limit, given the traffic and like the this website size. So definitely there was some room for improvement there.
And what's quite interesting about that is that they're the sorts of things that I really appreciate. That's not the sorts of things that like a user would necessarily see on the website.
But it's cost optimization essentially.
100%. And that's one thing I've really liked working with Blazity at, that you haven't just been working on like the new fancy showcase projects. You've also really helped us like resolve the technical debt. So we had a lot of technical debt, and we needed to resolve a lot of that before we could move over to the cool fancy stuff. So that's been a really good thing about our relationship so far, I think.
Definitely. I myself and everyone at Blazity would believe that you really need a strong foundation, technical foundation to grow. So to come into a company, to a client, and just start building on the fancy stuff, whereas the pillars are shaking, that's not the best course of action. I would never recommend that. Of course, it takes some time at the beginning because you have to wait for these fixes to be done. But in the long run, it definitely pays off, as you yourself see as well.
100%. Yeah, it's we need the website to be on a much surer footing, which it is now. Like you've sorted out sort of our code base. It's in a much better state than it was. So I feel like when we put things on top of it now, it's at a much sturdier level, which is great.
I think also one interesting thing that I take from this is that basically on paper, right, you were in the perfect web setup. You have Contentful as CMS, Vercel as hosting, and Next.js as frontend. And even though you had all of these amazing tools, somehow the experience that you were getting was subpar, basically, because all the promise of headless, of course, is modularity, it's fast time to market, it's custom design, it's great performance in SEO, and you were getting none of that.
Again, none of that, yeah.
I think it kind of shows that the fundamentals again and the foundation of development is critical.
Well, I think it shows as well that if you can have all the greatest kit in the world, if you're not using it right, then what's the point, right? So you've been able to show us how to really leverage and harness some of these great things we have at our disposal. And I think it's been pretty good so far. We've seen some great improvements across speed. We've seen the improvements we've seen on the website side in terms of getting through more leads, getting through more traffic. So
that's interesting. You said getting more leads. Is that from organic or?
Everything, to be honest with you. But organic definitely. So we've seen an increase in our speak to sales leads quite a lot over the last 6 to 9 months in particular. And 100%, some of that is definitely to do with the work that Blazity have done to help on the website.
So conversion rate, you would say it did increase.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so I think actually, I think Tom, we've covered your challenges and some of the outcomes of the work quite extensively. So I have another question. You mentioned that you found us on the Contentful partner catalog, right?
I did,
and you spoke to like 5 to 10 agencies. And Can you tell me what were your criteria for searching? Like, where were you searching? Was it only Contentful partner catalog? Like, what was?
So that was, to be honest, that was like the basis of where I wanted to find people from. I wanted official partners. I thought that was the best and safest place to go. I wanted to make sure that we found the right partner that we could trust, that was the right size, that was the right fit, that understood what we wanted to do at Speechmatics. So I had looked through the partner list, tried to get an idea of who looked right for Speechmatics. I then looked at like their website, looked at their reviews, looked at the people, really tried to get a good idea of who these people were. And as I said, we spoke to somewhere between like 5 to 10 different companies. So felt like a good like array of different businesses.
Definitely.
And yeah, Blazity definitely stood out from day one.
You mentioned at the beginning that you were also looking for what's right for Speechmatics, like an agency that's right for Speechmatics.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate a little bit on that? Like what?
Yes, we wanted to find a sort of a similar company to us, to be honest. We wanted to find someone that was at the forefront of technology, that understood best practices, someone that we could almost sort of class as a partner rather than just an agency, someone that we could really work with and work towards where we wanted to get to. We had some clear ideas about what we wanted to do with the website, and we wanted someone to help us get there, definitely. So trust was a big one. It means a lot knowing that I can trust Blazity. I can give you big projects, and I know that I don't need to worry about it because I know you guys have got it. I'll make sure the briefs are done. I'll make sure it's detailed enough that you guys can get on with it, and then I can't just leave you alone because I want to know, because I'm excited by it as well. But trust is big, and that's one big thing that Blazity have definitely shown us so far.
Thank you. It's great to hear. This is definitely something that we as a company strive to achieve. We believe that the true value of partnership lies, of course, in the technological skills and all that, but more than anything, it lies in trust.
Yeah.
So I'm really thankful that we're able to build that trust with you.
Yep.
And that you feel comfortable with us as a partner, because I think on a larger scale, it's very important when you work with an agency, and tell me if you agree, that we're here to be your partners, not necessarily just like developers that churn out code. We're here to help you think about your business, help you think how technology can enable your business, and not just take in requests from you.
So, I mean, I've worked with web dev agencies in the past that haven't been like a partner. There have essentially simply been agencies that I have had to manage quite closely, and it's just not like that with Blazity at all. It's definitely worked out really well, which is fantastic, and I feel like you've really grasped what we're trying to do at Speechmatics. You understand sort of the challenges that we're trying to solve, and you being us on the journey so far has been really impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing to hear that. We're always the happiest when when the projects are going well, but most of all where the clients are happy. So I'm really glad that we are able to give you that sense of calmness, I guess, if you will, because if you trust us to deliver. There
is one other thing I would say about Blazity, which has been really different, that if I give a brief over to the team, what is great is that they will often query that brief quite a lot and question me sometimes, and I want that to happen. I don't want them just to take what I say and run off and do it. If there's a better way of doing it, I want to be challenged on it, I want to be told about it, and that's really come on. It's been really great seeing sort of how the team have understood more about the Speechmatics project and what we're trying to do. So that's something that's helped a lot. A good example of that was as part of the rebrand. So I had some ideas about how I wanted to roll out some of these new designs and new widgets that we were building. But Max, JJ and the team, Bart and the rest of the guys, and the team generally, they all chipped in with their own ideas, which is fantastic, because if there's a better way of doing things, I'm open to it. It's not my way or the highway. I want to do kind of the best way, and having like their insight is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, thank you again. And I think it's interesting that you mentioned this as something unique in terms of other agencies, because we believe that in order to be successful in a partnership, we basically need to treat your product as our own.
Exactly.
And what clients, the requirements that clients come to us with are not often the best ideas, honestly. And I think that constructive criticism and kind of being there to make sure that we actually make the absolute best of what we can, I think is critical. Yeah,
I agree. So I'm a detail person. I ask a lot of questions, and I like to get into the sort of the grains of a project. So I always try and make sure that my briefs are really clear and as detailed as they can be. So if I give them over to your team, they understand what to do straight away. But as I said, the fact that they're able to sort of interpret my briefs and think of ways to improve upon it and enhance it is great. It's a game changer. You're not just doing what I asked, you're doing more. You're going the step above, which is, yeah, a really good place to be.
Thank you. That's again great to hear. So Tom, can you tell me what's unique about Speechmatics?
Yeah, so we try and set ourselves apart on 3 different factors really. So one is our accuracy. So our high accuracy, we know we're the most accurate on the market essentially. Second thing is non-English languages as well. So we transcribe not just English, but 50 different languages. And go back to my first point, the accuracy across those entire 50 languages is really, really high. So we don't just specialize in English. All 50 languages have incredibly high accuracy. I'm sure I can show you some of our Polish transcription later and you can agree with that hopefully. And the last thing is real time. So we've seen a massive boom in real time. So just to give you a bit of a heads up, in speech recognition, there are really 2 different types of audio. We either have pre-recorded or batch as we call it, and then there's real time. And we've noticed a big boom in real time demand. And what's quite special about our real time engine is that the low latency, high accuracy again, is phenomenal. It blows competitors out of the market. It blows competitors out of the water, and we're really proud of it. We're continuing to build upon our real-time mode. We've got some fantastic new updates coming later. I think later this month, which will be really exciting. So yeah, real-time, non-English languages, high accuracy. Those 3 things are what makes Speechmatics really special, and it's why we're a premium brand in speech recognition.
Thank you. That's extremely impressive. You know, I'm not an AI specialist myself, but real time sounds like it's very challenging to keep that accuracy, because if you have to listen in and translate basically or transcribe at the same time, then if you add on the background noise, for example, that must be.
So a lot of companies do real time transcription, which is great, but and people can do really fast real time as well. But the issue is making sure you have fast. So low latency, so quick responses, as well as the high accuracy. So often, pretty much everyone else has either chosen one or the other. They've even gone for high accuracy or really quick. What we've done at Speechmatics is be able to do both, which is really special, and that definitely sets Speechmatics apart from the rest of the company, from the other competitors.
That does sound really impressive.
Yeah.
That's, great. Thank you for all the kind words, Tom. Can you tell me though, what are some things that you believe could be improved or were not as good as they should have been while working with Blazity? There's always something.
So there were, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, we did notice that there were 1 or 2 sort of quality issues with what we were doing on the content side of things.
When you say quality, sorry, you mean like the quality assurance, like not in line with designs?
Exactly. So we were having, we obviously have our own sort of designs that we gave through to Blazity, and we weren't always probably super clear on what those would be across all browsers and all devices. So things weren't always thoroughly checked across all those different environments. What you guys then did, I think, within a couple of weeks, was you brought on a QA specialist onto the team, and that resolved those issues straight away. So yeah, the issue that we did have earlier on, in terms of a couple of small issues with QA, was resolved pretty much straight away, which was great.
That's actually positive as well. Thank you. I believe that, you know, every cooperation will have its ups and downs, but if you can get through these downs and if you can actually improve, that's key to any partnership.
And I think that the only other one that we had was sometimes the speed of communication, because we use a very specific communication channel.
Yeah, you use Teams.
We use Teams, which isn't everyone's cup of tea, but we use that, and not everyone uses that. So I'm always working on there, and I think it took maybe a little bit of time to sort of get that fluid communication, but now we have our own private channel, everyone's on there, we collaborate, it's much better than it was. So they're probably the 2 things, but they've both been resolved pretty quickly.
That's the most important. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. So actually to summarize, can you tell me how does the cooperation look right now and whether you're happy about it?
Yeah. It's very good, very good. I don't really have right now any complaints. I suppose it's making sure that we can build on this. So I don't want to settle for the improvements that we've already seen. we want to push on. We want more. Just making sure that the team are continuing to challenge me. So if I'm not given the most appropriate briefs, making sure that, or if I'm not being specific enough with some of my questions, that they keep on challenging me. I don't want them to accept what I'm giving them. So yeah, we can push on to another level, because I think there's still more to come. Yeah, I'm excited to see where we can take the website across the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months.
Definitely, it's exciting times ahead, and we're equally as excited to continue working with you, Tom. So Tom, would you recommend Blazity for projects from your industry?
I'm quite selfish. I want to keep Blazity all to myself. I don't want to share you guys with other people. So no, look, you guys clearly know what you're doing. You're experts in everything I've been asked, which is Contentful, Vercel, headless, React, etc. So yeah, it was quite clear you guys know what you're doing. I just don't want to make sure, don't want to lose you guys. I want to make sure I've got all your focus on Speechmatics and me at all times. So yeah, as long as you always have time for Speechmatics, that's fine.
You'll always have a special place in my heart.
Very good.
Cool. And lastly, do you think you could describe our cooperation in 3 words?
Okay, so definitely collaborative, because you guys have always been there for us since day one and really provided that added value that we spoke about earlier. Impactful, so we spoke also about the results that we've seen, so the impact, the instant impact that Blazity have had, as simple as being able for me to be able to edit and publish pages and changes to the website, which has been great.
Baby steps.
Yeah, exactly, start small. And then the last one, which totally overlaps with Speechmatics, which is really helpful, is innovative. So we at Speechmatics are an innovative company. We're coming up with new technologies all the time. The fact that you are also being very innovative along with us is great. That's sort of a match made in heaven. It totally follows where Speechmatics wants to go. So if I set you guys a challenge, you'll come up always with a very innovative response and way of creating things for us. So yeah, innovative, collaborative, and impactful are the 3 words I would say.
Thank you, Tom. That's very nice of you. I'm humbled to hear that, and happy that we can continue this partnership. Well, I think that's basically all that we have for today. Thank you once again for being here, for visiting Warsaw, coming to see us, coming to do this. And yeah, let's get back to work, to workshops.
Let's do it. Let's keep on building on Speechmatics.com. Let's make it even better, right?
Yes. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.